You ever stand in front of the mirror so long it feels like it's staring back harder than you ever stared at it? Like you're locked in a staring contest and suddenly the glass isn't just reflecting you, it's reading you, not with words. Nah, it's way creepier than that. It's with this look, this quiet, almost sinister vibe, like the mirror's whispering, you don't belong here. No, it ain't shouting, it's that low hum, that chill that crawls up your spine and settles in your bones. It cuts deeper than any insult thrown by strangers or friends. It's the hardest voice to fight because it comes from inside, from that place where your own doubts and fears hang out, waiting to snap. And yeah, at first, damn, it stings. It hits like cold water in the middle of the night. You blink, trying to shake it off, like it's just a glitch. You glance around and see everyone else fitting in like perfect puzzle pieces, clicking into place without effort. Their smiles seem effortless, their moves natural, their voices smooth and familiar. But then you look back at yourself and nah, you're not that piece. You don't click into their puzzle. You're from a whole different box. A box that never got shipped to this place. Born different. Born on a level nobody else sees or understands. The system around you, it was never built with your shape in mind. Never designed to hold your kind of fire. You try though. Damn, you try. You mimic their moves, their words, their energy. You practice their tone in your head before you speak. You dress the part. You fake the laugh. You even fool yourself sometimes. But every time you do, something inside you cracks. A little fracture in your soul widens like a fault line. You feel it, that gnawing pain, like you're breaking apart from the inside out, because pretending is poison. It suffocates your truth. And no matter how hard you try, you can't fake being what you're not. Because deep down, you know you're wired different. You were born different. And that's the secret they don't want you to know. That your difference is your power. And then, out of nowhere, it hits you. Like a thunderclap in a quiet night. Boom! A sudden explosion inside your chest that shakes every doubt loose. You realize something no one ever told you straight. You were never meant to blend in. Nah, you weren't made for the shadows or the sidelines. You weren't cut from the cloth that just follows the crowd, the script, the rules. You were born different. Not just in the obvious ways, but deep, deep inside, buried beneath the heavy layers of pain that tried to break you, confusion that tangled your mind, and that relentless self-doubt that whispered lies in the dead of night. Yeah, I know that feeling. The crushing weight of questioning who you are while everyone else seems to have their life figured out. But in that mess, in that chaos, you find a spark. A spark that grows into a raging flame. Somewhere beneath all the noise, you know the truth. You weren't just born to survive the day-to-day grind. Now that's for the average. You were born to do way more than just exist. You were born to shake the ground beneath their feet, to shatter the chains that hold so many back. You were born to break patterns, the toxic cycles, the expectations, the boxed-in thinking that society tries to chain you with. You were born to break silence, because sometimes silence is worse than noise. It's the kind that suffocates dreams, buries voices, and keeps the real stories locked away. But not you. You're the one who screams when others whisper. You're the one who dares to shout in a world that tries to mute you. And yeah, just maybe, you were born to break the fucking mold. That old cracked mold they expect you to fit into. The one that keeps everyone neat and tidy, safe and boring. But you're chaos. You're the wild card. The unpredictable storm that no one can control. And that's your power. So when the world tries to put you back in that mold, nah, laugh at it, tear it apart, burn it down. Because being born different isn't a curse. It's the greatest blessing. It means you're here to change everything, to rewrite the rules, to be the glitch in their system. The glitch they never saw coming. Nah, I ain't here to make anyone comfortable. Hell no. I wasn't born to fit in some neat little box that makes everyone else feel safe and cozy. That's not how I'm wired. Not even close. People have tried to shut me down for years, tried to put a muzzle on my voice. Calm down, they say. Lower your voice. Don't be so loud. Don't be so intense. Don't be so much. Like I'm a storm that needs taming, like I'm some wild animal that needs locking up. But screw that. Why the hell should I? Why should I shrink myself just so other people can stay comfortable in their little bubbles of ignorance? Why should I clip my wings so the blind can keep walking in darkness? No. Not me. I'm a fire starter. And if that fire burns someone's ego, so be it. If my heat scorches fragile feelings, that's their problem. I'm not here to babysit emotions. I'm here to shake things up, to make waves, to cause earthquakes in the status quo. And if that means making people uncomfortable, so be it. Because comfort zones are prisons disguised as paradise. And I'm the one who's going to break down those walls. I don't dim my light just to make sure no one feels the heat. That's weakness. That's cowardice. That's the exact opposite of what being built different means. I don't apologize for taking up space. I don't whisper when I want to scream. I don't shrink when I want to grow. I don't hide in corners hoping to be seen. No. I own the room the moment I step in. I am the storm that shakes the foundations, the chaos that rips apart the silence, the force that disrupts the dull and the safe. I'm loud, I'm wild, I'm untamed, and I'm proud of it. Because that's who I am. I'm not here to fit their mold. I'm here to break it. I'm not here to play by their rules. I'm here to rewrite them. So yeah, if that makes me too much for some people, then damn right I'm too much. Because too much is exactly what it takes to rise when the world's trying to bury you. Too much is exactly what it takes to be born different, built different, unstoppable. They really thought I'd fall in line. They thought I'd follow their rules like a good little pawn, play their system like it was a game I wanted to lose. Nah. That's where they got it twisted. The game was rigged from day one, but quitting, giving up, that wasn't in my DNA. Instead of folding under the weight of their expectations, I flipped the whole damn board. Rewrote the rules on my own terms. I took their little game and smashed it into pieces. Because that's what you do when you're born different. When you're built different. You don't just play by the system. You change the system. They told me to stay quiet, to keep my mouth shut and not make waves. So I screamed, not just to be loud, but to be heard. To shake the foundations of their comfortable little world. They told me to fall in line. to march like a robot with no soul. So I laughed, loud and wild, because following their path? Nah, that was never my style. I don't walk the roads others pave for me. I blaze my own trails. I leave tracks so deep they shake the ground. My footprints? Marks of a revolution. A warning to anyone who tries to box me in again. And my presence? It's not subtle. It's not meant to blend or to fade into the background. It's disruptive on purpose. Like a storm crashing into a quiet town. When you're built different, you don't just enter rooms, you invade them. You take over the energy. You rewrite the vibe. You make sure everyone knows you're here. Not for approval, not for acceptance, but because you have something to say. Something the world needs to hear. Being disruptive isn't chaos for chaos's sake. Nah, it's a statement, a declaration that you won't be ignored, that you refuse to be silenced, that you're here to break chains, burn bridges, and build new roads. And yeah, sometimes that makes you the villain in their story, the troublemaker, the wild card. But let them talk, because the ones who change the world, they're never the ones who sit quietly in the back row. So laugh with me, scream with me, break the mold with me, because when you're built different, the only way forward is to disrupt everything that tries to hold you down. You know what no one ever tells you? Being born different doesn't come with a damn guidebook. There's no cheat code, no instruction manual handed out at birth. Nah, it's all on you. You gotta figure it out on your own, and it's not pretty. It's brutal. You gotta bleed for your blueprint. Tear yourself apart and piece yourself back together with nothing but grit and raw will. You build yourself from scratch. From broken days when every second feels like a weight dragging you down into a pit you can't climb out of. From nights so dark and silent that the quiet feels like it's pressing against your chest, squeezing your ribs until it hurts to breathe. That kind of silence, it's heavy, crushing, like the world itself is trying to bury you alive. But here's the thing, even when it feels impossible, you still wake up. You still rise. You fight that suffocating silence. You stare down the darkness and say, nah, not today. And you say it again the next morning and the next. You become a warrior who refuses to quit. It's not about magic or luck. It's about showing up every damn day. When you're born different, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's giving you a map or a break. You're on your own in a world that doesn't want you to make it. But that's what makes you unstoppable. You take every broken piece, every scar, every failure, every tear, and you turn it into your foundation, your blueprint. You become the architect of your own damn life. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's lonely. But every time you stand up, you're rewriting your story. You're proving that being born different isn't a curse. It's a damn superpower. So when the silence gets loud and the darkness closes in, remember you've been built for this. You're made to rise, to fight, to scream back at the world that tried to break you. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're here to build something new from the ashes, something fierce, something that can't be ignored. So take that pain, that silence, and turn it into fuel. Fuel for your fire, your rise, your unstoppable journey. Let's go again. That's what being built different really looks like. It ain't shiny. It ain't glamorous. Forget the filters and highlight reels you see online. This is war. Real, brutal, soul-crushing war. It's lonely as hell. It's those 2 a.m. moments when tears fall quietly in the dark, when your heart feels like it's breaking and nobody's around to catch the pieces. But then, you still show up at 8 a.m. like nothing happened. Like you didn't just go through hell the night before. That's the real flex. It's not about looking perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about keeping your head up even when the world wants to knock you down. And yeah, it means losing people. People who can't understand your fire. People who are scared of your flame because it burns too bright, too wild. You learn to burn alone sometimes, to walk through the fire solo, because not everyone was built to carry their own weight. Not everyone has the guts to stand tall when the world's trying to crush them. But you don't just carry your weight. You carry it all and then some. You're a powerhouse, a force of nature that can't be stopped or shaken. And that genocide, that shake half of the planet. They muster. Seriously. Do you know why they get uncomfortable around you? It's not just jealousy. Nah, it's deeper than that. It's because you don't need them. You don't need anyone's validation or approval. You walk with purpose. Your steps aren't random. They echo with meaning. Your silence, it speaks louder than their noise. It cuts through the chaos like a blade. You ever been in a room and felt the tension shift the moment you walk in? Like the air changes, like heads turn, like whispers stop. That's power. Real power. Not the kind you steal or borrow, not the kind you fake. This is earned power, the kind that comes from blood, sweat, and tears. The kind that only people built different know how to wield. So own it. Let them feel your power. Let them know you're not here to fit in. You're here to dominate. I've walked through fire, not the kind you see in movies, the kind that melts your soul, the kind that burns everything you thought you were down to ashes. And yeah, I got burned deep. Scorched by pain, disappointment, loss. I felt the heat like it was trying to erase me, but guess what? I came out flame-proof, hardened by the blaze, tempered in the flames, like steel forged in hellfire. Every scar I carry, it's not a weakness. Nah, it's a story, a testament. Proof that I survived the heat that tried to break me. Every mark on my skin tells a tale. Tales of battles fought and won, of darkness faced head-on, of pain turned into power. Every loss I've taken, it's not just a setback, it's a lesson. A brutal, unforgiving lesson that taught me to be smarter, stronger, sharper. Loss isn't the end for me. Nah, it's the fuel for my next move. It's the reason I rise taller after every fall. Every heartbreak, that's a rebirth. A reset button that wipes the slate clean and challenges me to build a new version of myself. A version better than before. Tougher, wiser, more dangerous. Yeah, heartbreak ripped me apart, but it also pieced me back together with shards of fire and steel. It made me unstoppable. And now I don't just survive. I don't just limp through the struggle. I dominate. 'Cause I know the truth. I was never fragile. I was just learning to wield my strength. Like a weapon, like a force of nature. Strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn in the trenches. something you discover when the world tries to crush you and you refuse to break. So many people think strength is about never falling. Nah, it's about getting back up. Over and over and over again. It's about looking at the flames in your path and saying, bring it on. Because when you're built different, when you're born from fire, you don't just walk through the storm. You become the storm. Unbreakable, unstoppable, untouchable. When they buried me, I didn't die. I grew. I sent out roots. Roots so deep they claw through the earth like claws through flesh. Dangerous roots that hold tight to everything that matters. Roots unshakable, unbreakable. Roots that feed the fire inside me. Keep me anchored when the storms rage and the world tries to tear me down. I grew in silence, but I grew stronger. Invisible to their eyes, but unstoppable beneath the surface. Like a force waiting to explode. That's what being built different means. It's not about giving up when they try to bury you. It's about using their doubt as fuel, their hate as water for your roots. Their attempts to break you only make you more dangerous. Because when a seed grows roots that deep, it's not just surviving. It's preparing to take over, to rise up taller than anyone ever expected, to push through the cracks in the concrete and light up the sky with its power. They tried to bury me. Nah, they just planted me. And now I'm ready to take over everything they ever tried to hold back. I'm ready to break through, ready to show the world what real strength looks like. Because seeds that grow in darkness, they bloom into the most dangerous, most beautiful things you've ever seen. And that's exactly what I am. Now look, when I speak, it ain't just words that come out. Nah, I shake souls. I rattle the very foundation of the people listening. My voice, it's like thunder in a silent room, a shockwave that wakes up the numb and shakes the complacent. When I move, the whole atmosphere shifts. It's like a quake hitting the ground beneath their feet. The energy changes, the tension thickens. People can feel it in the air. Something wild, something untamable just walked in. When I look them dead in the eye, oh yeah, they see it. They see the storm they tried so hard to silence, the chaos they spent years trying to contain and lock away. Ha ha. No, you can't cage this. You can't put it in a box or lock it behind walls. It's bigger than any system. It's bigger than any rule they ever tried to shove down my throat. This ain't no phase. This ain't some teenage rebellion or a cry for attention. Now, this is evolution. This is transformation on a level that scares them. It's the natural next step for anyone who's been pushed down, ignored, and underestimated for too long. It's the moment when you shed the fake skin they made for you, when you strip away the chains of their expectations and rise as something new, something fierce, something unstoppable. They want to believe this is temporary, that I'll calm down, that I'll fold back into the mold. But nah, evolution doesn't work that way. Once the fire inside ignites, it never goes out. Once the storm breaks loose, it can't be stopped. This is the power of being built different, the power to rewrite reality just by existing, to disrupt their peace and rewrite the rules of the game. When I look at them, I don't just see faces. I see witnesses to the change. the beginning of a revolution that can't be stopped. So yeah, when I speak, when I move, when I stare down the world, know this: the storm is here, and it's just getting started. You think I haven't heard the whispers, the judgment, the side eyes? He's too much. She's changed. They don't act the same. Damn right we don't. That's what growth looks like. That's what leveling up feels like. Uncomfortable, lonely, loud, but real. You don't get to build a new version of yourself and still be liked by the old crowd. That's not how this works. You gotta choose comfort or power, peace or purpose, fitting in or fucking standing out. And me, I choose war. I choose fire. I choose every damn thing they told me I couldn't have, because I owe it to the younger me, the one who cried in silence, the one who got left out, looked over, mocked. I owe that kid a win, not a trophy, a life, a loud, wild, blazing life. One that says, we made it. And you, yeah, you reading this, you feel that shiver, that little explosion in your chest? That's not fear. That's your soul waking up, saying, it's time. No more playing small, no more shrinking, no more waiting for permission from people too afraid to chase their own greatness. You were born different. Own it. Say it loud. Say it like a war cry. Born different. Built different. Let that become your anthem. Let that shake your bones when you walk, when you talk, when you breathe. They won't understand you. That's the point. You weren't meant to be understood, you were meant to be witnessed, felt, experienced like a lightning strike in a dead sky. They'll try to box you, break you, tame you, but listen close. Cages are for the weak. You were made to fly. So break the mold, burn the old version, build the beast, the warrior, the legend. You've got fire in your veins and storms in your lungs. Speak like thunder, move like lightning, and never, ever apologize for being the one who wouldn't stay silent. You didn't come this far just to stop now. You came to set the damn world on fire. So light the match, drop the fear, and walk like you were never meant to crawl.